fellow diamond painting addicts, and welcome back to Diamond Painting Anonymous. I'm Daphne, and I'm here today for this week's WIP and Chat. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. WIP, W-I-P, stands for Work in Progress, and this is mine. You are welcome and encouraged to go grab whatever you are working on and work alongside while I chat. Or alternatively, you can treat this as a podcast and just listen while I chat. Today, I'm going to be working on my Bubble Girl from Bella Art Diamonds. You can see I've made a little bit of progress here. I've gotten to the little octopus. I've gotten her little top mostly done. So you can see some of her hair and some of the bubbles here. It's going really well, slower than I want it to because it's square, but hopefully I will be getting some good diamond painting in, and I will get to that when I get to my life update. First, I'm going to zoom into where I'm going to be working, and I will be right back. Don't go anywhere. All right, let me get my timer started here. Let me pick out a color. I try to do all the ABs first, just because I feel like the ABs are that tiny bit bigger than other drills. So if I wait until to do them last, then sometimes it's a struggle, especially with squares, to get them in place. Yeah, I'm going to do those first. Okay, let me preface this whole WIP and Chat by saying that I did write some notes, but I have a feeling this is going to turn into a very rambly one, so I apologize in advance if I am jumping all over the place and going on tangents. So, life update, what's been going on in my regular life? Not a ton. We are basically just in hurry up and wait mode, my favorite place to be. We are still waiting for some of our provincial paperwork and things to be finished and approved. So that is frustrating. Something that we thought would take a matter of weeks has turned into months, but that's okay. It will happen eventually. Just got to be patient. That's the lesson I think the universe is trying to teach me right now. I just need to have some patience. I have never been a particularly patient person. I think I'm probably more patient now than I was when I was younger, but still not great. We have postponed the brother-in-law's birthday because the weather here is kind of crazy. So I may actually be experiencing my first kind of real Canadian / Arctic winter storm here, which is kind of crazy because they've had so much snow back home too. My daughter, let's see, I think Wednesday they had no school because of the snow. They didn't get a ton, but just more snow than usual lately. Certainly more snow for them this year than there was last year. And it's been fairly cold with wind chills and everything. My daughter has been sick with whatever crud is going around. Something has been making the rounds through her school district, and she has been sick. So she missed a couple of days work with that. Called the doctor. Well, you're sick, yeah. She's had a headache. Her nose and sinuses are stuffed up. She's got a really bad cough, and she has had a bad earache. Well, it's only been a couple of days, so wait until it's been a week and then come in. Which on the one hand, I understand if it's the cold or whatever, then there's not a lot they can do for her. But on the off chance, especially with ear pain, that she's got an ear infection, I don't understand why they didn't want to see her. They are supposed to be getting hit with more major snow on Sunday night over to Monday, I think. And we're talking like, I think they said between 6 to 12 inches, depending on where you are. So it'll be really interesting to see if they cancel school. I'm pretty sure at this point, if her school gets canceled again, they're going to end up having to make up time. They're going to have to add on days to the end of the school year because they haven't padded in enough snow days for all the days that they've taken off so far, which always irks everyone. But I told my husband, I'm curious to see how it goes here because we've had some major snow here as well. So schools here were closed Friday, I believe. I get my days all mixed up and YouTube time is weird, so I think Friday. We had a major storm. Our rental is by the beach. So because it's by the beach and it's kind of on sand and dunes and whatnot, it does have a basement, so it's on a foundation, but like the deck is raised because the actual house itself, you have to go up, not a complete story, but more than just a regular few steps like you would a house in the States. It's raised higher than that. And there's a deck that kind of attaches all around 3 sides of the house. And our trailer is parked next to it. But behind the trailer, we have gotten this huge snowdrift that is taller than the railing on the deck. So probably 1.5 times my height at its highest. And the wind is blowing all of these drifts everywhere. So hubby and I went out and got groceries so that in case we get trapped, because this last storm dropped, I think they said, a foot of snow. I still have trouble translating because I still have all my stuff set to be in Fahrenheit and everything is Celsius here. And I talk inches and feet because that's what I know, that's what I've grown up with, and they talk in centimeters, which I admittedly, because of diamond painting, have a better frame of reference for. But anywho, we got almost a foot already. And I mean, I was amazed when we went out for groceries. Everybody's been out and snow shoveled or used their snow blowers. The city has had trucks out, so all the major roads are clear. Was not bad at all when we went out to go get groceries. Also, I was going to save this for the post-completion review of this one, but I'm pretty sure these are pixie dust drills, the mica drills. They're not marked that way, but they sure look like it to me. I haven't got out my magnifier or anything, but I'm pretty sure these are fairy dust drills, and I'm loving it. I think they're so pretty. Okay, so what was I talking about? Oh, snow. Because we got all that snow already, and now they're saying that another major storm is going to be coming through, and we can expect another 1.5 to 2 feet. But just looking out today at all of the snow, I was like, okay, all the complaining that I did about where's all the snow, I take it back. It has been blowing a gale outside and bitter, bitter cold. I just am not used to it. Hubby tells me I'll get used to it. I'm like, I don't know if I want to, but I guess I'm here. I don't have a lot of choice, do I? I am more than ready to move into the new house. The new house has a wood stove, which our rental does not, because I was telling hubby, what do we do? Because the wind has been blowing so much, I'm literally watching the power lines to the house just blow around in the wind. Nobody around here, because we're so close to the water, has underground lines. They're all above ground, so they're all wires hanging from poles that then connect to the house, which is fine until it gets super windy and your power gets knocked out, in which case we won't have any heat because all of our heat sources, the rental is all electric. We do have a generator, which is currently out in the trailer. So I don't think we could get to that even if we wanted to, because I don't think we would be able to move enough of the snowdrift that is behind the trailer to open it. We do have a little solar powered battery thing. You can also charge it, so it's fully charged. The battery is fully charged. If we can't do solar, you can plug it into the wall. So we've plugged it in and made sure that we have it fully charged so that we can run some sort of heat or something. My mother-in-law is like, oh, well, if the power goes out, just come up here. Well, we'd love to, but no guarantee that we would be able to make it to her house in the middle of a blizzard. So it'll be interesting to see what happens. Like I said, I'm ready to be in the new house because the new house has a wood stove, so we would at least have a source of heat if the power went out. So yeah, just kind of waiting to see what this first really big storm, at least for me, is going to be like. This is probably old hat to a lot of people who live here, but this will be new for me. What else has been going on? I have been watching a lot of YouTube videos and other things. Hubby and I actually binge watched some shows the other day. I'm behind on a lot of my regular like YouTube shows that I watch, so we have several of those. We did finally binge watch a couple months ago Only Murders in the Building, and fairly certain there's going to be a season 5, so excited for that. We're caught up on Oak Island. Spoiler alert, they haven't found anything yet, but I still like watching the show, so we're still watching it. But hubby and I actually started watching, I've been wanting to watch this show for a while, and that is the show Ghosts. It's the TV show where the couple, they inherit this old house, they decide to turn it into a B&B, and there's a bunch of different ghosts who for whatever reason haven't been moved on. They're stuck in limbo and she can see them. It's actually really funny. I really enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. So we binge watched basically the first season, and I think we made it halfway through the second season, and I think there's like 4 seasons. I don't know if they're in season 4 right now, something like that. Anyway, it's been really interesting, so that's been fun. Just to kind of sit around and take advantage of us all being together and not going anywhere and all of that. I've been struggling with the move. Everything is different, which, duh, right? But I've just had a hard time over the last month or so. Everything is taking longer than I thought it would. Things have not turned out the way that I thought they would. They haven't turned out badly, just not the way that I thought that they would. And I am by nature a worrywart. My mother was a worrywart. I watched her worry all the time as a kid growing up about everything. Anyway, I ended up calling my sister and having a long talk with her because I was just struggling. She said things that made a lot of sense and really made me stop and think about how I was approaching some things. It helped. I think it helped just to talk to her because I am homesick and missing my family. And I did set up a regular time for us to have phone calls, something that I've been wanting to do, but just we really hadn't talked, so we hadn't done it yet. So while I had her on the phone, I said, okay, let's do this. So we have a regular time set up for phone calls. We'll see if it happens. Just, I know life can get in the way sometimes, but yeah, just I miss everybody and I want to talk to them. It's been kind of funny. I have started watching a lot of like expat people on YouTube, people who live in various countries and places. Like I think I told you guys last WIP and chat that I had been talking to somebody who was a transplant from Texas to the UK. And I follow a couple of people who, I follow one person who is a transplant from the US to the UK. I follow another guy who's a transplant from the UK to the US. So it's kind of interesting to see both sides of that. And then I stumbled across this girl that lives in China. And I want to say she's from like Ohio or someplace. She moved there with her husband, and just some of the different cultures and things has been interesting to see. Like one of the things she mentioned was that Chinese people always hand gifts to each other with both hands. It's a sign of respect or care or whatever for the person that you're giving the gift to. Just all these little customs, like people in, I think it said Sweden specifically, but I think this is true in a lot of the kind of Scandinavian countries. I know it's something they say a lot about Dutch people, that Dutch people are very frank and to the point, like they don't have time for small talk. And it was one about Sweden not having time for small talk. Like they just don't do it. And I've seen other videos, like a girl that is American that lives in France, and how French culture is different. Like I guess in a lot of cultures, France and other cultures included, like when you go to a store, there's no small talk when you're checking to the cashier or anything. They're there to check your items and get you in and out of the store. There's no, how was your day? I don't get a lot of that kind of thing. We tend to get people asking us about the weird stuff my husband's put in our cart. Oh, have you ever tried these before? Because of some weird potato chip flavor he found that he wants to try, or some new weird frozen thing that he thought looked good and nobody's ever heard of before. So people are like, is this any good? We don't know. We've never had it. Anyway, just to all that to say, I guess, that I just find it interesting learning about other people's and other cultures. And it suddenly occurred to me that I really hadn't been doing a lot of that. I mean, I think because in the back of my head, there's that whole It's Canada. How different can it be? But it's a lot. It's a lot different. The way they do things is different. Not the least of which because the province we are in is bilingual. So it's really weird, at least to me still, to go into a restaurant and when they realize that we speak English, ask us if we want English menus, because all the menus are in English and in French. There have been two different ones. Like, to me, I would just make it one menu and one half would be English and one half would be French. That would seem the easiest, but they have two completely same items are on the menu, but they're just different. And we're still figuring out how things work, or at least I am. But I'm trying to embrace it more than I was. I think I was so focused on things that hadn't happened yet that I wanted to happen because I felt like they had to happen before we could move on to the next step. I don't know if that was a way for me to subconsciously somehow distract my brain from dealing with everything else. I don't know. Again, I apologize for the rambliness of this. My brain is kind of all over the place. I did write down some notes, but they weren't in much better shape, honestly. It is blowing a gale. I think the storm that we were supposed to get tomorrow has arrived early. Well, actually, the day you see this, it was supposed to arrive, but I think I'm filming this before that, so it's arrived early. YouTube is confusing. I think I've just been struggling with a lot of the what ifs. Hubby has constantly said to me, nobody cares. Nobody cares about this thing that you're worried about. Nobody cares that we're doing this. Nobody cares about whatever the panic attack of the day was. And he's been really good about talking me through things and keeping me kind of on an even keel. But talking to my sister helped. My sister is one of those very no-nonsense people who is just like, well, what's the source of the anxiety? Well, it's this. Well, then if it's X, do Y. If it's Y, do Z. Like, what's the question here? Just do it and then you'll know. And it's that whole, I'm avoiding things because then once I have that answer, I have to do steps X, Y, Z. And I don't know, want to be stuck at W? I don't know. That's enough complaining from me. What else is going on? Let's see. I think I talked to you guys about the dopamine journal. I still haven't made one for myself. I'm going to do that. That's on my to-do list. Because I find myself sometimes just kind of sitting around and twiddling my thumbs. And when that happens, I end up surfing the internet. That's never a good thing for me. So I'm going to make a dopamine journal. I think it will be good for me to get back into doing some analog creative things that aren't all digital. I mean, diamond painting is analog, right? But making the videos is digital. So sometimes the analog gets lost in that digital part of it. I am trying to do more physical things as well. I've been reconnecting with a good friend from high school, asking for recommendations because the friend went through some pretty rough times in the last few years. And so I was asking them, well, what do you do when this happens? Physical activity is good. Gives you something to do. I'm finding that difficult. I mean, shoveling snow is always a good activity, right? But the youngest and I have not been able to go out and go for our walks because of all the snow. I'm debating whether we should get a gym membership. There is a gym that's not too far from us so that we could walk indoors on an elliptical or a treadmill since we didn't really bring any of our gym equipment with us. And even if we had, we have nowhere to put it right now. Just to also get us out of the house. Because some days it does feel almost claustrophobic that we're all just sitting in here, even though we're all spread out. Like right now, my son is upstairs. My husband is in the bedroom so that I can be out here filming. But even at that, it doesn't feel like we each get our own space, if that makes any sense. Anyway, this has been a lot of rambling so far. I'm actually loving this kit. So I guess let me transition into talking about this kit because I've rambled long enough about regular life stuff. I don't even know if any of that made any sense to you guys. If it did, great. If you're an anxious person, maybe some of that made sense to you. If you're not an anxious person, it probably didn't. That's okay. Everybody's different. So let me talk about diamond painting stuff. So what's been going on in my diamond painting life? Side note, hopefully next week I'll have more to talk about in my regular life than just snow. But, you know, welcome to Canada, right? I guess. Anyway, diamond painting life. What's going on in my diamond painting life? You guys, I finished some stuff. So I think I'm doing pretty good for February. We're only halfway through February. Well, I guess a little more than halfway because February only has 28 days. But I finished things. I finished the Literate Dragon, so that's one thing. I finished Goofy, that's two things. If you saw yesterday's video, I finished the Sip of Sunshine, which is three things. And I am well on my way to finishing this one. I'm not halfway yet. I think by the time the snowstorm passes, I will be more than halfway because I think there are going to be at least a day, if not a couple of days, where we really don't go anywhere because of all of the snow. If we get the maximum that they're predicting, then I doubt that we'll be going anywhere. I really want to talk hubby into taking a couple of short trips. I would actually love to make another trip back across the border to go to a store in Maine to pick up some things that we just can't get here. But with the weather and everything the way it has been, we just haven't been able to do that. I also have a couple of places that I would like to go visit, and we haven't been able to do that either. Just things that we could drive in the car to, things that we don't even necessarily have to like spend the night or whatever. It would just be like a day trip. Haven't done that yet either. But maybe after we get this big dump of snow, then maybe we won't have any more. What I'm afraid of is we're going to get this big dump of snow, and then we're going to get another big dump because whatever is the system that's hitting Kansas Sunday night, Monday is then going to slowly make its way towards us. We'll have to see what happens, but yeah, that's what worries me. I guess I should just presume that it's going to snow all winter, right? But I'm not even really sure when winter ends up here. I mean, yes, the calendar says spring starts March 21st, right? But I have a feeling it'll probably snow here after that. Oh, you guys, I don't know. Yeah, my brain is all over the place. Okay, anyway, so I finished things. That's good. So I'm going to finish this one, hopefully this month. I've got to go look at events again because I thought I was going to be doing an event for March that possibly is not happening now, so I need to go back and look at those. Also, I think when I looked, there wasn't anything past April because I did it back in December, I think. So I need to go back and look at those, but I'm excited to have finished some things. I'm excited to be working on some new things. If you guys saw, it was earlier this week, I think, I kitted up the Bella Safina. I'm going to be working on that one. It's the only Bella Safina kit that I have, but I wanted to get it open and put together. So I'm going to be working on that one. I still have the Distracted by Diamonds that I opened. I don't have it kitted up yet, so that is going to be one of the next things that I do so that I can get it kitted up. So everything is going to kind of be in this kind of medium range. So I've got this one, which is like 55 by 55. The Oasis one is, I think, around the same size or maybe a little bit bigger. And the Bella Safina is around that same size as well. So, but the Oasis and the Bella Safina are round. So after I get done with this square, then I can focus on those two and they will go just a little bit faster. Just because I try to be, and also I feel like you have to be a little bit more precise with the squares because they have to fit together well. I just spend more time fussing with square drills than I do rounds. I mean, do I need to? No, probably not, but I do. And I try to tell myself when I'm working on it, okay, don't spend a lot of time going back and readjusting the drills, right? Because then I'm wasting time. I need to get drills down on the canvas. But sometimes you just gotta, you know? That's part of my enjoyment of the process, is that whole kind of making order out of chaos thing. So I want everything to be lined up neat and tidy. And with rounds, I can be a little bit more freeform because they don't have to butt right next to each other. I mean, round drills do touch, but they don't fit together the way that the square drills do. So if you're someone who spends a lot of time fussing with square drills, you're not alone. But I try to tell myself, don't focus on that, because it does take some of the enjoyment out of it if I feel like I'm just spending all of my time straightening things. Like, these drills are not perfectly straight, those two are not perfectly straight, but as I work my way across, it'll all even out. Is everything going to be perfect? No. None of mine have ever been completely perfect, and I'm okay with that. This looks pretty good right here. They're all nice and tight, but are they perfect? Nope. But it's okay. And I missed some of those right there. It's amazing to me how I can look at it 2 or 3 times and think to myself, okay, I got them all. I didn't miss anything. And then as soon as I put them away, put the lid on it, put it back in the bottle case. Oh, wait, there's a whole bunch right there. Why didn't I do those first? Who knows? I am enjoying the octopus with all of the ABs. I think it's turning out really cute, so I'm happy with all the ABs that came with this kit. I didn't end up adding any more because I think what's included is plenty. And I can't wait to see how this one turns out. I'm pretty sure this is the same artist that did the Waiting for the Holiday kit that I did before. Was the girl with the, oh, she had pink hair too, with like the reindeer mug and the Christmas tree and lights and stuff behind her. So that's the same artist. I like this style because it's nice and bright and colorful. That tends to be what I'm drawn to rather than all of the dark, like gothic kind of stuff. I bought a couple of those kind of dark and gothic ones, but I've gotten rid of most of them. I think the darkest one that I did was the Jasmine Beckett Griffith Edgar Allan Poe one, the Lenore that I did. A lot of brown and gray and black and very, very dark blue. I think my Miss Havisham was like that too, but I enjoyed that one. That was a Drills and Chills one year. Anyway, so I can't wait to see how this one turns out. Like I said, I'm really liking the little octopus here. I'm hoping once I get up into the upper part of it, there'll be a little bit more multi-placing. Right now, I feel like I'm doing a lot of confetti, and maybe it's just going to be that way the whole way. But I do get, there are a few places, like right here in this section, there's some multi-placing with her skin, but it's still, there's still 2 colors there, which makes it look good. So it's not that I mind that, it's just trying to get as much as I can done in February, because I'm trying to make up for all this stuff I didn't get done in January. But like I said, I'm hoping to get some good diamond painting time in over the next couple of days if we're snowed in. I just gotta make myself sit down and actually do some diamond painting. When we watched Murders in the Building, I don't like to diamond paint while we watch that because so much of it is visual that if I'm not actively watching, I miss a bunch of stuff. And I'm constantly having to ask hubby questions and stuff, so I just don't diamond paint during that. And football's over, so I don't have time to diamond paint. Hubby is not a big hockey fan, so no hockey. His mom is a big curling fan. She's trying to get me interested in curling, which I would love to go try to do, but I guess it's not as simple. Like, I thought it would be as like bowling, like you go to the curling club and you just try it out. Like, you can, I don't know, rent curling shoes or whatever. I guess it's not that simple. Like, you have to go to like a training thing she's encouraging me to do. I don't know if I'm this interested, you guys. Do any of you curl? Do any of you even know what it is? For those of you who don't know, it's the one where you throw the stones down the ice and they scream, hard, hard, or sweep. There's a, I don't know if they call them a thrower or a curler, the person who throws the stone, and then the sweepers, I think is what they're called. I don't even know. Anyway, I would love to try it out, but I don't know if I want to invest like, I don't want to become a professional curler. I just wanted to try it out. I also want to try out pickleball. I need to find out if there's a pickleball court anywhere close to us. I meant to look that up the other day and then I got distracted. I know. Me distracted? Who would have guessed? What else do I need to tell you about my diamond painting life? This isn't really, I mean, it's tangentially related to diamond painting. So in my videos, I try to put links for you guys, like to whatever kit I'm working on or something like that. And sometimes the actual links for where you can find the item are really long and ugly, and they take up a lot of space. So I used to use URL shorteners. Google used to have a free one, and then once Google did away with like Google Plus and a bunch of that kind of stuff, it went away. So then there was one called Tiny URL. I used that for a while until they were no longer offering a free option. All they offered was paid. So then I went to Bitly. And then, I don't know, 6 months or so after I started using Bitly, they announced they were going to a paid version. But you could still do the free one. It would just be limited. It's like you could only get 10 links a month with their free version, which is plenty for me. So I was like, cool, I'll just keep the free version. Well, now they've announced that, yeah, you can do the free version. Yeah, you can have your 10 free links, but it's not going to take you directly to the thing anymore. They basically are now inserting code so that there's a pit stop at an ad place before you get to the link. And I'm like, you know, it's a free service. I can't complain because it's free, right? So if they need to somehow pay for the service that they're providing and they're choosing to do that with ads, cool. But I feel like you guys already get enough ads from YouTube. I mean, honestly, I think we get bombarded with ads everywhere these days. Everything is a subscription and everybody wants you to pay extra to get rid of ads. And I just don't feel like subjecting you guys to that. So I probably am not going to be using any of the Bitly links anymore, which means that my links are going to be long and ugly, but they'll take you directly to whatever item it is that I'm trying to get you to. So hopefully that's cool. That's what I would want if it was me. Like, oh, this is a cool kit. I'd like to get it. Where do I go? Oh, here's a link. Here it is. Wait, what is this ad for? Nope, I would rather you be like, oh, this is a cool kit. Where do I get it at? Oh, here's a link right here. Boom, look, there it is. Now I can buy it. I mean, like I said, I get it. It's a free service, so I can completely understand that they're not in business to just give things away for free. Who is? But sometimes I just got to draw a line. I don't like that the links are going to be long and ugly, but it is what it is. Honestly, I don't know how many people actually look at the description box anyway, unless you're specifically interested in whatever that thing is. I mean, hopefully it happens more often than I think. I am horrible with analytics. I don't like numbers. Numbers make me anxious. So I don't spend a lot of time looking at my analytics and all of that stuff. Like I pay attention to, I shouldn't say I watch. I look at how many subscribers I have, which thank you if you have subscribed. That's awesome and I appreciate it. And I pay attention to views and comments because I still try to respond to all of my comments. I don't know, maybe that makes me weird. I was looking at, while I was surfing YouTube and reading some of the people's comments and things, and it seems like there's a lot of channels out there where the person running the channel just never makes a comment about anything. And maybe that's just a decision that person has made for their channel. I don't know people's lives. Maybe they don't have time. Maybe they get so many comments they just gave up responding to everything. But I know there are channels where like they don't respond to anything at all. And then there are channels where like for the first 10 minutes the video is live or something like that, you'll see that people got some responses and that kind of stuff, and then after that nothing, which again, I get people are busy. Is that a bad sign that I am not busy, that I have the time to respond to all of them? I just figure that makes it feel more like a community, right? If there's a conversation happening, I try to respond. I don't respond. I try to respond to all of them. Sometimes I don't get notified about them. Sometimes they disappear when I go to comment on them. Like I'll get an email that says, oh, someone left this comment, so I'll go make a response, and when I go back, it's gone. Whether the person deleted it or YouTube ate it, I have no way of knowing. But so yeah, Bitly links will probably be going away, so apologies for that. But yeah, hopefully that means one less ad in your face. All right. I am still trying to decide what kind of accessories and things I want to buy. I need to well, I don't need to. I want to try some more Canadian diamond painting companies, but I wanted to do some accessories. I want to try some release papers. I was looking on Etsy the other day, and there's a couple of shops that have some really cool things that I would like to try. I just haven't done it yet. Just need to be more on the ball. I think I let my homesickness kind of get the better of me for a few weeks here, but I'm rounding the corner. Is this the last AB that I need to do in this little section? I think, no, that's not an AB. No, this one is an AB. The little dollar sign is an AB. I think that's the last AB, but I think I think I'll finish up the octopus before I move on to the last AB that's in her hair. This is just, like I said, really confetti heavy at this point. More confetti than I was expecting, which is okay. Like I said, that's going to make it turn out really cool, but guys, I'm going to have to cut out so many of my stomach growling noises. That's what I get for eating dinner right before I do this. Also, I have to change that too. I said dinner, meaning supper. If I say dinner around here, my in-laws are like, that dinner is lunch. No, dinner is dinner. Dinner is supper. Not here. Dinner is lunch and supper is dinner. Or dinner is supper. No. Dinner is lunch, the midday meal. Supper is the evening meal, not dinner. I'm getting myself confused. So to recap, man, I don't even know what I talked about. I talked about snow, talked about being homesick, talked about talking to my sister. Did I accomplish anything? If I zoom out here, you can see, so you've got, this is the little mouth of the octopus. We've got tentacles here coming around. You can see this one here, and then there's just a little bit of that one right there. We've got her little necklace. I need to fill in all of her neckline and everything, but I think it's turning out pretty well so far, so I'm happy with it. I don't know if any of the things that I just said made sense. If this was a long rambly one, I apologize. Hopefully my brain will be in a better place for the next WIP and chat. Hopefully we will not be under threat of another blizzard / huge storm dump. I'll try to get some pictures of the outside so I can throw them in when I'm talking about it. The amount of snow is crazy already, and now we're going to get more, so it'll be interesting. I told hubby I hope he's ready to drive me everywhere, because no way am I driving on some of these hilly roads with, what is that going to be, 3 feet of snow if we get everything that they're saying. So yeah, should be interesting. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed the WIP and chat. I hope you were able to get something done on your project, whatever that is. Again, I apologize for the rambling nature of this, but sometimes my brain just, yeah. Anyway, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you so much for sitting through this whole ramble and sticking around till the end of the video. Before you leave, don't forget to do all the things. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and hit that bell notification icon so that you can be informed of future uploads. And as always, guys, thanks so much for watching.